Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have possibly a controversial video here, but I got to say what I got to think. I got to say what I think because I got to get this off my chest. So make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, it's been a while since we produced a topic like this. We did it a lot last year, but we haven't really done it much this year. But it's something that has weighed heavily on my chest over the last few days, and I have tried to ignore it. But this story, for whatever reason or another, just seems to keep growing legs every single day. So, you know, I got to talk about it, right? I got to talk about it. As some of you may be aware, LeBron James' son, Bronny James, recently attended his prom. Good. And he decided to go to his prom with a white young lady, a blonde white young lady. Good. That decision that he made, that kid made, drew a lot of criticism from people like Umar Johnson and others. Now, initially, when I heard those criticisms, the criticism that were being levied at LeBron James' son, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I was totally perplexed. The first thing I said to myself was, since when did people get the nerve to comment on the decisions of other people's children? When did that precedent get established? When did we get to that level? Right? That was what was going through my. Since when did it become okay for people to start criticizing other people's children? I've said it before, and I'm going to say it once more. There are two things you should never tell a person to do. There are two things. The first thing is, never tell a person how to spend their own money. Never tell anybody. If somebody makes $1 million a day, they can spend it any way they see fit because it's their money. Number one, never tell people how to spend their money. And number two, never tell people how to raise their children. You simply don't do that, especially when you aren't related to that person or you have no connection to that person whatsoever. To me, it is wrong. It is dead wrong. Wrong. You don't do that. I was taken aback to see people criticizing Bronny James. It's unbelievable to me that you have adults criticizing that young man. It is unbelievable to me. And as y'all know, Shannon Sharpe is a staunch LeBron James supporter. He's a staunch LeBron James supporter. And he was stopped at the airport by TMZ. I think he was coming from somewhere or going to somewhere. And he made some comments that got a lot of people up in arms on TMZ. He made some comments on TMZ that got a lot of people pissed off. So before we go too far, I want you guys to take a listen to what Shannon Sharpe had to say. And then we're going to come back here and continue with this story because I got a lot more that I want to say. Take a listen to what Shannon Sharpe had to say here.
You've always been a big supporter of LeBron. There's some craziness going on right now online aimed at Bronny Jr.
Right.
And you know, people are criticizing his prom date.
People would rather you be miserable with someone of your own race than you be in love with someone of a different race. It is so utterly ridiculous. I read the comments. Yeah. People need to get a life. Let that man be happy. I get it. But if that's not what brings him joy, if that's not what brings him happiness, who are you to tell him who he should be with because it's not of his race? The people.
That's right.
Our people, man, sometimes I get so sick of them sometimes because it's ridiculous. Let the man be happy. That's your problem. You went with someone because they're black. That don't make you happy, but because society says, you know, we should be with our own race, that's what you're willing to do. No, I'm going to be with who makes me happy. Damn what y'all say. Y'all live y'all life. I'm going to live my life. What is it costing you? You don't have to feed Bronny. Bronny doesn't live with you. You don't have to see Bronny. People get so concerned with everybody else's life that they don't have they don't live their life because you worried about somebody else's life. Yeah. I'm like, well, what is it? I mean, I was reading it and I was like, oh man, they're a cute couple. Bronny looks so happy. Oh, this and that. Yeah. I'm like, people.
Almost. You think it could have ruined his night, man?
No.
I hope not.
He probably didn't see it until later.
Yeah.
But it wasn't gonna. It shouldn't ruin his night because Bronny can't live his life for someone else. He has to live for him. And far too many people live their life for other people. Yeah. Social media has done it. Social media is great because it's your own platform. It's your own radio show. It's your own TV show. Yeah. You can be your host. You can be a professional at everything. But it's forced people to live their lives for other people because now you're living your life through the lens of how you're being portrayed. And I can't do that.
It gets blurred.
Yeah, I can't do that. I got to be me.
So those were the comments that he made. That got a lot of people angry to the point where he went on Twitter to basically address people or address the people or address those that were criticizing him. So this is what he had to say on Twitter. Let me just quickly read it. I should and I will date whoever I choose. You should do the same. This is America. We do not arrange dating or marriages. Now kick rock clowns. Right? So those were Shannon Sharpe's comments on Twitter. Those were his response. Now here are my thoughts on this entire issue. And some people are going to get offended, and it's your right to get offended, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. I'm not going to sit up here and twerk it up for anybody. I think it is wrong to criticize the decisions another parent decides to make for their children. I don't know what some people are feeling. What are you feeling like? That you get so comfortable that you can sit up there and start criticizing people's kids. No, seriously. When did it get to, how comfortable have some people become where they feel like it is okay to criticize people's children? There's something wrong about that. You have no right. Focus on your own children. Whatever you may think, they're not your kids. Focus on your own kids. How can you criticize a man's children when the kid's decision has no bearing on your life whatsoever? If he decided to go to his prom with an alien, how are you affected by it? Seriously. How are you affected by it? If you're in an impoverished state, how is that going to move you to the next level? If you're looking for a job, how is that going to help you get a job? How? How is that decision that kid is making? How is it having any impact on your life? It's like a guy sitting on the beach in Fiji and worrying about what's happening on the moon. What correlation does it have to you? How does it has nothing to do with you? It has no effect on you. Literally. It's not affecting your livelihood in terms of the money you can make. It's not affecting you on a personal level in terms of the people you can possibly. It has no effect on you. But nevertheless, people want to take it upon themselves to criticize it. And let me say this. Second thing is this. Who are these black people that feel like God made you the judge of all black? Who are these people? Where do you get off feeling like you have been made the arbitrator over blacks? When did that meeting happen? That I missed? Where was the memo that it says that, okay, you know what, because I'm so-and-so, I'm an authority on this, so therefore I get the, who made you that? What are you feeling like? That makes you feel like you can go around criticize, who gave you that right? I decided, let me give you guys an example of me. I decided to marry a black woman. Okay, I decided to, but it wasn't because somebody told me to. Let me make that fundamentally clear. I decided to marry a black woman, but it wasn't because somebody told me to, or it was because I was trying to appease anyone, my parents or this guy. I did it because I am a 34-year-old going on 35-year-old man and made a decision for myself as a man that would make me happy, As a grown man, I made my own decisions as a man to do what would make me happy. And it just so turned out that she's a beautiful black woman, Nigerian black woman. I didn't do it because I was trying to appease anybody at all. What are you feeling like that you have the authority to dictate these type of things to people? I just don't get it. Even the government doesn't tell you who you should marry. But nevertheless, you have people walking around here trying to intellectualize their opinions on things they have no business talking about. Focus on your own children. Bring your children out. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see the type of lives that they're living. Let's see the things that they're accomplishing before you open up your beak and start criticizing other people's children. And in closing, let me say this. I don't care who gets offended. You can unsubscribe. That is your business, but I'm going to tell you guys what I think. In closing, let me say this. I always say that everyone has a right to their opinions. I always say that. But there is a limit. You cannot say whatever the hell you want. You know this. Y'all know this. You know you can't say whatever you want. You know this. And people need to do a better job curtailing their lips, their mouths. It's not every opinion you need to expound or disseminate to people. Some things you can keep in your pocket. People know when they're not supposed to say. If you see a 6'9" dude and you're 5'2", you're gonna walk up to him and tell him he ugly? Well, you have a right to do it. Don't be shocked at what happens next, is all I'm saying. People know how to behave. It's not everything you need to criticize people. And let me say this. For the people criticizing LeBron James, let me tell you this. The majority of the people that are criticizing him haven't done an iota of what he has done for impoverished young black children. The guys running around, running their lips, their beaks, haven't done a quarter, a tenth, a 1/1000th of a percent of what LeBron has done for blacks. Meanwhile, they feel like they can sit up there and run their mouths. Look at all of the stuff that LeBron is doing for various communities. Look at what he's doing in his own community. And you got some people that will overlook all of that and feel like as if, you know what? Well, look at what he did. Now I have the right to go up there and criticize the guy. Who are you? What are you doing? This is what I think the policy should be. If you're going to criticize a person on what they're doing for the community, or you're going to criticize their children, please bring out your resume. Let's see what you've been doing for the community, and let's see what your kids are doing. If your kids are not doing anything, and you're not doing anything for the community, all you're sitting there is doing is running your damn mouth because you have nothing else better to go eat some carrots or something. Go eat a celery stick and chill instead of running around criticizing people. What's next? Where does it stop? What's next? You're gonna walk up to somebody and tell them, "Hey, man, I don't think your wife is pretty at all. Why didn't you marry a more attractive woman?" What's next? Where does it stop? Where do we draw the line? Where do we stop with this? I cannot believe that adults are criticizing an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, 16-year-old kid. It is wrong to me. Who told you that Bronny James came to the earth to decide to be a free? If that's what the kid wants to do, let him do it. He's a teenager. Are you freaking kidding me? Who you dated at 17, 18, is that who you're going to date when you're 30? You don't know who you're going to date. Number one. Number two, look at his environment. Where does he live? Who do you think he's surrounded by? You're going to date in your proximity. You're going to date the people around you. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then Shannon Sharpe gave his opinion and people are coming for him. Mind your bloody business. All people are doing is running their mouths. To me, I tried not to say something about it, but it got to a point where I was like, enough is enough, man. Allow the dude to breathe. People can have their opinions. Everybody can have an opinion, but there are limits. There are limits. It's not everything you think you gotta say. We all know this. But for whatever reason, it has gotten to this point where now we're getting comfortable with criticizing people's children. What in the hell is going on. He didn't commit a crime. He didn't do it. If it's one thing, if he went out there and committed some heinous, then that's something else. But a 17, 18-year-old kid, we're now criticizing his dating habits? Are you freaking kidding me? You don't think something is wrong with you? That you're looking up to an 18-year-old kid to set an example for you? You set the example for your children. It's unbelievable. People are criticizing LeBron. The majority of them haven't done a damn thing for nobody. And all they're doing is running their mouths. Congratulations. These are my thoughts. This has to stop. Because at a certain point, the next thing is you're going to tell people, oh, this one's too ugly. Don't marry him or her because she doesn't make $500,000 a year. If she doesn't make $500,000 a year, you're let down in your whole family. How could you marry somebody that only makes $250,000 or $70,000 a year? You let us all. I'm done.